want to bless him and his ministry and the good works that they're doing. Amen.
Thank you, Lord. I want to say welcome to the Wayne Barton Study Center. My name is Wayne Barton, founder and CEO of this building that you sit in, which is 25,000 square feet on the air. We built it in 1999. This is a facility for kids, charter school, pre-K to 5th grade, after-school care, from elementary, middle school, and high school students. It's open to everybody. Any kid that walks in that door to receive our services, we welcome. To my right over here is my chairman of my board. His name is James Beardy. He's a local attorney. James, did you just stand up or wave? He's already standing up. He's one of the board members that facility, and my assistant, Mrs. Shanika Ramos, she's over there. She's my assistant. You will see her more than you see me. I am a lightning rod that's always on the go. And I want to say thank you that wherever you are, she's getting up, walking around. That's my dog. This is why you guys are here. And my awesome mechanic, George, wherever he is, with George, here is our front row. He takes care of all my trucks to make sure I do a few things right in the community. I'm going to be brief, bright, and be gone, okay? So I'm not going to stay too long in front of you, but I just want to say welcome to the Wayne Barton Study Center. I want to just show you a little bit of tape on the after-school care and what we do here. And before I go away, I just want you to know that every kid that walks in that door, their 4-year college tuition, and their books, room and board, and each kid gets a laptop computer to go to college. We have 162 kids in college now, 31 have graduated. We have one girl who has completed the master's program. We have 3 other kids in the master's program, and we're pushing as many kids possible through college. We're giving them an opportunity. And God has blessed us so tremendously that this building is debt-free. We do not owe a mortgage. All the vehicles you see out there, we own them. God blessed me years and years ago, and we've been good stewards to His blessing. And we're trying to build 7 of these things around the country. But it said that, let me just show you a quick video, because pictures are like 1,000 words, and they just show you a little bit about the after-school program and what we do here. And then I'm going to come back and tell you about a food ministry that we do here, where we give away 100,000 pounds of food every weekend to needy families. Ms. Ramos?
Put it here.
Oh, leave it.
Okay.
Leave it there.
I'm a retired police officer. I was a police officer in Boca for 21 years, 8 months, and 8 hours. And I retired at the age of 38, and I didn't have to work anymore. And I'm thinking, how much golf and how much tennis, how much fishing can you do? So I rolled up my sleeves and I started in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in the public housing in Dixie Manor. Started the first study center. We outgrew that. And this was a vacant lot where you're sitting now. And I had a gentleman by the name of John Henry. He owns the Boston Red Sox. Still is a big, dear friend of mine that supports me. And I was standing out on 14th Street and said, John, I envision a study center in that vacant lot. And John Henry looked at me and said, Wayne, where are you going to get the money? I said, John, I'm hoping I'm going to get the money from you. But just show you how good God is, I didn't have to ask John for one penny. I raised $3.1 million in 9 months. And John, I went back to John and showed him what was done, and he was just so proud of me. John was the first guy who really believed in me and was willing to stand up and make a difference. And every time I have a kid to graduate from college or high school, I always send John an email just to let him know that you paid forward an unbelievable blessing to so many kids. Because if you save a little girl, you save a generation of babies. And law enforcement, we have enough jails, but we don't have enough schools to save our children. In the state of Florida, we have 78,000 inmates behind bars. It costs $33,000 a year. We got to change that, people. We got to change that. Building new jails historically, we haven't really did a great job because more people are going to jail every day. Well, my last presentation is going to be about the food ministry that we do. God touched my heart. He blessed me with 6 banana boxes on the side of this building. He said, feed these people for 90 days and then ask them to go out with you to help others. I'm going to show you what he did.
Getting volunteers to sit on the right and front. We all put together here when we want to sit on the west side of the building. We get front before we go in the road, asking God to protect us as we leave. We arrived in the city of LA in Palm Beach, and we assembled the table to put out all the food, and also we put out all the donations that were received from Home Depot. Provide a word from the spiritual side. We feel physically and spiritually.
just want to say in closing, I met Belle last weekend. We talked on the phone, and she came by to meet me in George. And she asked me, would it be all right if she would just tag along? And she went with us down last Saturday. We went down in Fort Lauderdale on Sistrum, which is called Skid Row, which is a very poor part of Fort Lauderdale. And she got to just labor for the Lord tremendously that morning and serve. And every time I turn around, Beth was just full of tears of joy, saying, thank you for letting me come and serve. This is the first Saturday that I did something I wanted to do. If you could see the people that was in line and just got served that day, it would just do something to your spirit. And it's sad to know that here in America, people are still going to bed hungry with no food. We just don't give food out. We give them the word, give them a chance to give their life to the Lord, and then we serve. And I only do it through churches, and everyone that gives their life to the Lord that day, we give them Bibles, and we turn them over to the local churches that we're working with in that area. And we go to another area, and we go to another area. So we do this every weekend. I just want to say to Beth, thank you for coming. Thank you for being a part of that day. And I pray to God that it change your life to know that you still can be a blessing to somebody. We all have gifts. We have to decide on, are we willing to share that gift that God has given us? Again, I say thank you. Welcome to the Wayne Barton Study Center. And I pray to God that you will find a blessing here tonight at the Wayne Barton Study Center. All right, Will, it's back to you, brother.
Thanks for coming tonight. Many of you, who's ever heard of me? Who's brand new? Never seen one? Did you get Gandhi and drag to come here? Love it. What we have to show you tonight is unique. And in this world right now, the most difficult thing to do is to pass one idea from one person to another and not be misunderstood. Anybody here married? Right? Has your spouse ever misunderstood you? Even though you were sure about what you were trying to say, they did not hear it the same way. And that's my challenge with you tonight, brand new, is to pass an idea from myself to you and not be misunderstood. Now, between your ears is a computer far more sophisticated than anything man will ever create. Will you go with me on that? But if you wanted to do something you couldn't do before, what do you got to do? What do you got to do with it? You have to reprogram it. So understand, each one of you in here has been programmed to think a certain way. It comes from the defining moments in your life. It comes from the time when you when you saw your parents leave and you didn't even know where they were going. Okay? So understand, in life, we were taught to put ourselves to get in the way of the movement of money. Now, here's your proof. Some of you were in an academic package. You went to school 2, 4, 8 years of your life, 10, 20, 50, 100,000, or $200,000 so you can get a piece of paper that gathers dust the day you get it so you can work in a structure that looks like that. It will only pay you enough as it takes to replace you, correct? How many people were in an academic package? Okay, keep your hands raised. How many, look around, how many people are actually using the degree, look at that they paid and trained to do? Look at the hands go down. Remember, you never get paid for what you know, you only get paid for what you do with what you know. And people didn't have a problem still going into debt. Correct? Alright, now, how many people were in a trades package? You apprenticed with somebody, you worked for little, you got certifications, then you became a journeyman, and then you became a master, and maybe you even taught other people, or went out on your own and opened up a company. Who's been in a trades package? Were there costs involved with that? A lot of costs, right? For me, I was a licensed and bonded repo man for 27 years in Southern California. I have probably seen the side of life that most of you do not want to know about. Okay? Now, I never intended to do that. Is there anybody doing a job right now that they never intended to do? They just kind of fell into it, and after a while became comfortable. Look at all the hands, right? And then it became familiar, and then even if you wanted to stop doing it, you had obligations to the people you love, and it became harder. Because your commitment and obligations to the one you love was stronger than maybe some of your dreams. That was me. Okay? We had to buy trucks, tools, high security training, bonding, everything. Now, some of you were in a government package. How many people here gave service to their country or they're working in a government type office? Okay? When you got out, you got a VA package, didn't you? Of some kind, did you? Alright, now, maybe you went into private service or civil service, private contracting with the government, and you worked with your GS rankings. What does that look like right here? That's the structure of the government, that's the structure of the school system, that's the structure of the corporations, that's the structure of the unions. Okay? And so, understand, you are always in somebody's package. Is there any entrepreneurs here? Has anybody been in entrepreneurship? Look at that, baby. You know what? Yeah. Did you have a storefront, payroll, insurance, and inventory, and all the other stuff that went along with it? You were willing to do that for what? Freedom? But maybe you went into it and it wasn't as rosy as you thought. The expenses went up, the bottom line went down, correct? So understand, you are in somebody's package, whether you chose to be there or you just ended up there. Now, let's see if this thing works. Yay! I love when technology works. Look, I'm the Karatbars poster child for the common sense knucklehead. I want to thank you all. If you brought in some food for that drive, or you put $1 in the cup, whatever you did, I want to thank you very much. Because there was a time when I broke my neck in 1992, I had congestive heart failure in 2005, and at that time I was unconscious for 5 days, and the last thing I was thinking about was my job. Nothing. I was wondering if my family would be kept, was going to be taken care of. So some of you have had to find your moments down. This, folks, if you work for this, you work for man's debt money. Okay? manage that money. And the most important thing I can tell you about that is this. This is supposed to represent the labor that you gave to somebody else. Now, the challenge with that is worth less buying power tomorrow than it is today, correct? Now, what you haven't been told, or maybe you understand it now, this is the world's exclusive reserve currency until it isn't anymore. Did you know that when the dollar first came out, it was worth 1.5 grams of gold? Did they teach you that in school? Because they didn't teach me that in school. Which means that paper money is only a substitute for real gold money. Now, if you have a dollar, take it out, because I want to show you something. Okay, I'll wait a minute. You see, the recognizing the problem is the beginning of the real solution. Whatever happens to the dollar happens to everything you have kept in dollars. Now, this is the original buying power of the dollar, folded in half. That is the buying power of the dollar after World War I and World War II. Folded in half again. That is the buying power of the dollar after the Korean War. This is also when the United States went education crazy. And if you got a better education, you can have a better life and everything be hunky-dory, everything. And you know what? That system worked for a long time, didn't it? That was great advice. Now, this is the folded in half again. This is the buying power of the dollar after the Vietnam War. This is also when the dollar was no longer backed by gold. We became decoupled from gold, which means the government could print as much money as they wanted for whatever reason they wanted, and they were not bound by the discipline of only printing enough money as they had in gold stocks in the vaults. That was the beginning of the end for that advice in general to be sound. Now, folded in half again. That is the buying power of the dollar after Desert Storm and the end of the Cold War. This is also when it took two people to work in a household to do what one person used to be able to do. Folded in half again, only down like this. That is the buying power of the dollar after the Afghan War. This is also when children stayed home till they're 25 and 26 years of age. Okay? Folded in half again. All right, now, that is the buying power of the dollar after the Iraq War, and you know what? We're still in that region. I do not expect to be leaving there for a while. You? Okay.
Nope.
This is the original buying power. This is where it is now. I got a hot news flash for you. I might have been a knuckleheaded repo man, but I was top 2% in the United States going into college. I didn't take any math classes. This is never coming back. Mathematically impossible. Okay? So, what we're going to show you tonight, if you're brand new looking at this, is how to unfold the buying power of what is supposed to represent the labor you gave to somebody else to give you security and dignity. Once again, that is the end result in the simplicity of a few tasks we're going to show you how to do. And you don't need anybody else's permission in order to get that. Here's the key. You can never fix it with paper money. You can only fix it with real money, gold money. People across the planet are waking up to the fact that the paper monies don't do what they used to do. Now, here's also what you need to know. In international trade, since the dollar is the world's exclusive reserve currency, all these paper monies here, man, they are pretty. They don't usually have a face on it. All of these paper monies had to turn their money into into dollars, and then use dollars to do international trade. Right? That's where we exported our inflation. I'm going to leave you with a couple of things to Google because they're a very significant act happening and they don't need to do that anymore. I'll tell you at the end of the presentation. Now, 40 years ago when the dollar was backed by gold, a gram of gold would buy you 5 loaves of bread, and how many loaves would a dollar buy? 4, thank you. But after 2 generations of printing money backed by nothing but politicians or bankers promise it's good to pay the taxes, that's all paper money is. A gram of gold would buy you how many loaves? How many loaves? 20. I love participation. And a dollar will buy you what? That is the difference between paper money and gold money. And if the past is going to predict the future, which it usually does, is the value of your labor going to be better preserved in your savings account holding your retirement in cash or gold? That's why somebody invited you here. Now, how many people were in an academic package? Hold up your hand. How many people, put it, drop it down. How many people were in a trades package? Come on, hold them up. How many people were in a government package? How many people were in an entrepreneurial package? Okay, hold, put them down. How many people get paid this in order for their labor? Raise your hands. No, some people here don't get paid and they didn't take the money. Do you? Right. Understand what we show you affects every single person you ever meet. I don't care how old you are or young you are. I don't care what socioeconomic status you have, what your education level is, where you live, what the economy is in your home. I don't care what country you live in. I don't care what language you speak. The paper money is supposed to represent the labor you gave to somebody else, and it's worth less tomorrow than it is today. Education class, boomer math class 101. You are not going to fix it with paper money. That is why you are seeing the symptoms of Occupy Wall Street, Tea Party movements, regime changes in governments, bail-ins, bailouts, private pension funds being swapped out with public trust funds. Did you know that? And so we're here to give you an option to protect you, your family, and your assets all at the same time. And it's nothing more than one small change in your banking routine. That's it. It might be time for some self-defense. Instead of being in a reactive phase, be in a proactive phase. The solution is simple. You don't have to get better. Keep doing whatever you do to make your paper money. But instead of putting all your paper money in your paper money bank, you open up a free Karatbars gold accumulation account. It is physical metal. It is not a stock or an ETF, which is an investment. And instead of putting all your paper money bank, you shave some of your paper money into gold money and put it in your piggy bank. And as the value of paper money goes down in buying power, what happens to the value of your gold account? It goes up, which means it balances out your losses that inflation is stealing from you, and you have no way to stop that. And understand, if your way to do that now is to get investments with a high maturity, understand, whatever happens to the dollar happens to every single thing you have kept in dollars. Your stocks, your bonds, your annuities, your real estate, your car loans, everything. And so, if you have a pen, I want you to goop, not now, but when you leave here, if there's even a shred of doubt that where we're at right now, the people who we trust to take care of the things that we want to take care of know exactly what they're doing, and when they go to fix this, we will not be negatively affected. You don't have to be here. But if there's even a shred of doubt I want you to Google these 4 things. Number 1, I want you to Google 6th summit of BRICS. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, TH, summit, SUMMIT of BRICS, BRICS. That stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Next, what I want you to do, I want you to Google 133 countries of G77. Next. G77. Okay? 133 countries of G77. Next, I want you to Google what is a bail-in. Does everybody remember what a bailout was? That's where the government bailed out the banks who didn't fail. Guess where the government got that money from? Guarantee of your labor. The United States does not have a savings account. They have your labor guaranteed by taxation of you, your children, and your grandchildren now to pay that debt. You're not walking away. Okay? And so, what is a bail-in? Go Google that. That's different than a bailout. Next, no G20 summit, November 16th, 2015. Gone concern buffer. And that is probably the most important information I can pass to you tonight. It's shredded out of each of these something. Next. One thing we need to teach our kids. We need to teach our kids the habit of savings. Germany, Austria, and Switzerland are the top 3 rate per capita savers in the world. 15 to 17%. Who knows what the rate per capita savers are in the United States? Minus 2.5%. Right, we're coming in. What's really good about what I'm sharing here is when every adversity comes to people in greater opportunity, if you take. I didn't even listen to my own advice. Sorry about that. Yeah, right. Okay. That'll come in play. All right, next. And so by teaching our kids by example what to do, we install the next generation to have good habits. You can't expect to tell them anything. You have to show them. Okay? Now, nothing ever changes until you reprogram this. In order to change your reality, the only thing you have to do is change the tasks you perform. Whether you're in an academic package, a trades package, a government package, an entrepreneurial package, even a homeless package, as a way that they do things, right? There's like a package for that. Right. If you just lost your apartment, the right car to live out of. You can Google all that stuff, right? So understand, some tasks pay you $30,000 a year, some pay you $100,000 a year, some pay you $500,000 a year, and some tasks pay you $2 million a year. The only thing that separates a job and freedom is the task you perform at some time to create residual income, and you no longer have to perform the task to have the money and the time. Right? Now, think about it for a minute. If you're in an academic package, you really don't want to go to school, you want the piece of paper, right? And when you want the job, you really don't need the piece of paper, you just wanted the job. They can keep the piece of paper, right? And if you, once they start paying you the money, they can keep the job, but they pay you the money, right? But what's the end result that you want? Residual income, because without that, you will work the rest of your life. So we're going to show you how to take 30 years of your working life and put it into 18 months. If you pay attention and you follow direction. How long have you been in a career? Who's been in a career more than 10 years? Anybody in a career more than 15? Look at that, 20 years. I think that's probably enough. Let me ask you this. If the tasks you perform on a daily basis were ever designed to give you real freedom and make you wealthy, don't you think they would have done it by now? Right? And so understand, you don't have to give up anything. You can create the residual exchanging you for something that can preserve your labor and balance out your losses. That's it. Number one. Who's providing a logical solution? Number one, Karatbars International is a little-known company. It's an e-commerce company registered in Germany as an e-commerce company. It's recognized by the World Trade Organization as an e-commerce company. It's regulated by strict German law where they've met or exceeded their standards for more than 5 years. Concept was started in 2009 in Europe and has expanded steadily across into 123 countries right now, and nobody's even heard of this. Right? There lies the opportunity. Because as the value of paper money goes down, more people are going to be attracted to what we do. Right? Privately held, no debt. Current specialized in the production of small transaction-friendly weights of gold. 1 gram, 2.5, and 5 gram denominations. Here's their mission. Is to make currency-grade bullion available to the masses. Everywhere, Harold Sykes. We want to be able to deliver 1 gram of gold into the hands of anybody that wants it across the planet. Okay? Now, unique. This Karatbar is unique in what it does. Does anybody have something in their wallet that shape? Is there anybody that doesn't have anything in their wallet that shape? Is that bad? Look, there's a reason why it looks like that. Human nature becomes familiar with it. Did you hear that? Human nature becomes familiar with it. And so, what is this kind of gold? I did not know there's all kinds of different classifications of gold out there. This kind of gold, 999.9 impurity, stamped by an LBMA accredited refinery. That refinery is on the London Good Delivery list, and it is rectangular in shape. Did you know that that is the only kind of gold that all banks and all governments use to settle debt? You will never find anything round used to settle debt between countries and banks. That is why Karatbars only uses this. This kind of gold is recognized as good for settlement of debt. This is what we use as the United States to settle debt with other countries. And other countries use that, and banks settle debt between themselves. That's why we only use this. There's a hologram feature on here, and I'm going to let you know that we continue to improve and advance our technology on protection. Now, we have 1 gram, 2.5 gram. This is 24 karat gold metal, and we're gonna have a man named Gary Crane come up after the break. He's going to do some very interesting things with the gold. Now, that's what looks like in closer detail. Wait, you want me to go back? Okay. Serial number laser etched into the ingot. There's other features on that. It is heat sealed in the card. This will withstand extreme temperatures and pressures. Okay? And UV radiation to protect the ingot. It acts like a mini vault around the ingot. Now, the company can brand any company, movement, association with their own branded card. Now, look at it. You think the repo man, after knocking on 300,000 doors asking people for money, keys, or information, has heard just about every story in the book? Yes or no? Yes. All right, I'm a common sense guy. Look, I'm not Catholic, but the Vatican, the most well-recognized banking institution in Europe, licensed for 100 kilograms of these. 100,000 grams, and you're about to do your second run. Number 2. I'm a common sense guy. The company has their own branded MasterCard. Look at it. Only legitimate companies get one of these. Fuzzy wuzzy, fuzzy wuzzy. Right? 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 All right. You know me, I'm not going to sit back. Not only that, you can even get your face put on a cover. Huh? Right. Right. Look, have fun with whatever you do. short, you can make more money, you can't get back time. Huh? Try. And now, this is just a smidgen of all the things that they do. Next, Karatbars offers you the ability to open an account for no cost, no maintenance fees. And you know what? Does your paper money bank have maintenance fees? Yeah. None. Okay? No website fees. And you choose what you want to have. You can exchange paper money of all different kinds into euros, and then the euros are exchanged into gold. Okay? And this is what happens. If you open an account and exchange paper money into gold, what happens is this. Within 72 hours, that paper money is turned into physical bullion. And it either is put into the vault for free for storage for you, or it is put into the production queue and delivered to you by Federal Express. Karatbars does not hold your money. They do not use your gold as collateral, and your gold is not stored in a publicly visited facility like a bank that can get shut down. If you have any qualms about vaulting it, get it delivered. But they can deliver 1 gram the same cost they can deliver 40 grams. So maybe you want to store a few up and then have it delivered. 100 grams is free. Right? Now, free enrollment, free website. You choose how you participate. You can become a customer. The reason I showed you that list, you don't need any single other person to take advantage of using an account. There's going to be people that enroll. Look, we got piles of people. Look, I don't really want to tell anybody, but I see the value in that, and I'm going to start using it. And let them just do it. It's a very simple website. Let's show how to use it. It's what it looks like right there. With one click of the button, you can become an affiliate. Understand, Karatbars is inviting you to see their products. It also has a paid schedule, okay, if you choose to take part of it. 7 ways you can get paid. How you decide to market it is up to you. Understand, for 3 years we tried to figure it out. They don't teach you anything. Guess what? We figured it out. 2 paid plans. First one completely free. Doesn't cost you a penny. You can make referrals. You can make between 0.5% and 6% on what others buy. And it didn't cost you a penny to participate. Nothing. You have to do some work because they're just not going to fall out of the sky, right? So don't hoard this information if you like it. Right? This is how we bolt on employee benefits or non-profit accounts, other things like that, worldwide. Then by their volition, they can decide to become an affiliate. Now, if you're an affiliate, as you see here, 5 income streams completely free. 2, the other one, you have to take a proactive stance and buy one of the business marketing packages in order to activate. You have to decide to activate that section. The unilevel pays you once a month. Guess what? My bills came in more than once a month. Did yours? Yeah. So it was a slow, long, painful death to go build this thing when we first came in. Guess what? You don't have to go through that. This other part pays you weekly. I like that. So you can get paid once a month and you can get paid once a week for successful transactions. Understand? You decide you want to be an affiliate. You activate your account by uploading some documents. Like you have to do it at a real bank. You have to prove who you are, and you have to have a place where your gold is going to be shipped insured in your hands. Everything's insured. Okay? And so once you activate that, you can participate in one or both. And if you sponsor one person, see there's 2 teams on that dual team. You got one arm, just like your body. You got one arm here, and you got one arm here. And anytime there's volume on this side and volume on this side of a certain amount, they pay you a payout. So if you sponsor 2 people, there's probably going to be one on the left and one on the right. And if you sponsor a 3rd person, where does it go? Where? It goes underneath the right or the left under somebody who didn't hesitate to take action. You're going to benefit from that whether or not what level of participation you need. Now, team payout, 50 units on one side, 25 units on the other, you get a payout. There's actually Next. Payouts needs to be limited to $35,000 a week. Is that more than enough money for you guys to make money? Guess what? Long-term stability, there are some big thinkers that are jumping in the airport. Big. Big. And so we didn't want them, Harold says results take time to measure. I don't want to chase them away. So they modified it to maintain its viability to the first 250,000 people, to everybody. If you make $250,000 on the side, maxing out the comp plan in the lower levels, would that be okay? Would that change your life? How would that change your family's life? A lot. But for people who want to go long term, it'll pay out to 180,000 times up to a couple million a week. Make no mistakes, as this thing gets bigger, the people who understand that, we're not in our infancy, folks. We're out of our diapers, we're walking, and now we're on the jogging board here, okay? Next, private issue MasterCard is how we get paid. This makes it viable if they place commissions on your MasterCard every Friday morning. I can go to the ATM, take out $900. Understand, I drove a Toyota Yaris until I didn't anymore. Okay? We lived back in the country, man. Population was 800. It was 15 miles to drive to go get creamer. Alright? You know what our commute to work was after we failed more times than we succeeded, but in the process we succeeded well. Is that we went to the ATM every day and took $900 out of them. Every single day in our years. Every day. Until we realized what we've been doing with our time for so long. Okay? You can do way more good with money. And let me say, tell you what, you might be somebody who loves their academic career or their trade. You don't have to give that up. Imagine the flexibility and freedom you can have if you had another income coming in that didn't depend on your time to do it. What if you're a researcher? Well, you have the flexibility to do what you want to do. 5 income streams are free. Okay? First one's based in points, pays monthly. Second one's based in cycles, pays weekly. You can see the pay plan right there. I'm not going to go into that. That's where we stand. Karatbars payplan.info. On top of being paid once a month and paid once a week in the dual system, Karatbars has another reward system that is 100% free. So whether this is a company, an association, whatever, just this one pays you over a lifetime. Starting with an iPhone, cash or gold, a trip to Dubai, a mega trip on a yacht, a Rolex watch. Look, I'm kind of a knucklehead, you know, I mean, I probably wouldn't go buy a Rolex. So we're not one. All right? All right, you can say what I got. All right, next, 3 car programs. Look, understand, this is not lease. They give you the keys. This is for the flow of gold that goes through your business. Give it to you. And you don't have to give up one to get the other. And you only have to go the difference between the two in order to get the second one. Right? All the way up to a villa. Next, the company and the affiliates have webinars, team conference calls, and trainings every single day. There's no shortage for any way for you to not be able to get this to people. And have them take a look. This is a yes waiting to happen. Ed Cooper, a sheriff's investigator for 35 years in northern Colorado, said a blind squirrel with a note in his mouth can make money in this. The only way it won't work is if you don't let anybody know about it. Okay? Every day at 12 noon Eastern and 9 p.m. Eastern, karatbarswebinar.com. I do Wednesday nights and Saturday morning. Now, here's the summation. Understand, this is from the one that are offering you the logical solution. Free to open your offshore online personal cash management system and a secured server in your homes or pajamas. You can do it 24 hours a day. You can exchange as little as 50 euros, which is about $50 or something, right? Something like that, right? Okay? In this little amount. You don't need a broker. You eliminated the broker. Dan, where does Karatbars get the money? Where do they get the money? Every day, the affiliates and customers across the planet order gold. Karatbars has 3 good delivery list refineries. There's only 50 at counts. There's only 55 in existence. They've got 3 refineries. You know how hard it is to get one? See, all these little things that nobody's going to really tell you, you got to kind of find out. And so every day they make orders, they buy bigger bars of gold and they turn into little bars of gold that everybody can afford. And every other dealer out there, they keep the profit in there. Karatbars puts you in the way of the movement of money and pays a robust chunk. They don't keep it. They give it to you to do what you've always done. You have always told somebody about something you like or you don't like. Yes or no? So did anything you're already doing. So whether you like this or not, you're going to be marketing it. Positively or negatively. It doesn't matter, you're still going to market. You might as well go make some money. Okay? Now, this is the most important thing that I saw. You are able to create residual income. And without residual income, as I said, you will work until you cannot work anymore. How do I know? The repo man used to clean out trailers and find ladies' uniforms, 85-year-old. It was not pretty. How long have you been in a career? So understand, Karatbars stands for everything sound, solid, truth about money. Make no mistake, we know exactly where we're going. The person that brought you here only wants to know one thing. You want to go where we're going. It ain't hard, simple. Time and money. Now, I showed you why you need to look at it, correct? I showed you who's providing the logical platform. Now I'm going to talk just a little bit about the solution. The why, the who, and now the how. This is what you want to know. Residual income equals freedom. If you're working in a job, you're guess what? You either have time or money, but you never have both. And if you're happy with that, congratulations. I'm happy for you. I want you to have a happy life. But if you're not, then consider changing a few tasks that you have. Now, this is what you need to know. Prosperity for those who understand that with every adversity comes an equal to greater opportunity. And this is a way that you can capitalize because there's no one else on the planet, not another company, that is giving you this option. Go look. You were taught to position yourself to get in the way of the movement of money. How much money and how much time did that surgeon spend? What happens if he gets carpal tunnel? He's a teacher. Right? Right now, if you're an entrepreneur, okay, let's put our entrepreneur caps on. The largest market transfer ever in world history is here. It's not coming. It's here. 1.4 quadrillion. Who's heard quadrillion before? You remember when a billion in 1980 was a big deal? Right? Then a trillion? There's $1.4 quadrillion of fiat paper money printed by and derivative, backed by nothing but a promise that historically, mathematically, and logically has to go back to gold, silver, and oil-backed money again. You're seeing the transition as China bought 85% of the world's gold production 60 days ago, and they opened up renminbi outlets in Toronto and LA. Did you hear about those? You don't hear, some people you don't really hear about those stuff. You go outside the United States and hear different information than you do here. So understand, if Karatbars, which are gold as what? Money. Not a commodity. Not something for speculative investment. This isn't a program for the Wall Street day trader, buy low, sell high, time market. That ain't what this is. This is gold and money, a developing system exchange that in the future you will be able to not only buy stuff in cash, you will also be able to buy stuff in verified rates of pure gold money. That is the development of the world's first and only honest money system. Not here to compete, not here to replace, just another method so that the movement of goods and services in the country can continue in times when the paper money has its challenges. Now, if Karatbars gets 1/2 of 1% of that market transfer, it will be bigger than all other markets of health, wellness, weight loss, nutrition, water, food, juice, coffee, energy drinks, shopping portals, gifting programs, jewelry, cosmetics, cars, shoes, clothes, advertising, and travel, all done combined. As an entrepreneur, do you want a hunk of that? The infrastructure is completely paid for. The only thing you got to do is get off your rusty dust and decide how much that pie you want and put yourself in the way of the movement of money and seal it in the infrastructure in 123 countries. Man, we ain't even a mite on the backside of a flea's rear end right now. All right? That's kind of bitch. Maybe a while. All right? So you want some of that? Get it. So the real question is, I showed you why, I showed you who's right. The real question is gold money. How do you get the most of the best quality gold money for the least amount of time, effort, and it always comes to this, doesn't it? Personal finance. Right? There's only 4 ways you require gold. Number 1, you can inherit it. Raise your hand if you can inherit gold. Yay! My kids are. Number 2, you can extract it out of the ground. Who's mined or handed before? There's always somebody, right? How'd that go? I can't even sit cross-legged on the ground, so don't invite me to a walk. Unless you have to. Next, you can buy it out of your own pocket. Isn't that common sense? Common sense. You can buy it out of your own pocket. But you're always limited by how much discretionary income you have that you can put forth. And what's your leverage? You go to a dealer, your only leverage is what? Size and price. And then you don't even pay attention to what kind of gold you get, correct? And so, will that get you more? The 4th way is this. Oh, by the way, when you go to a dealer, are you in the way of moving the money? No. 4th way, set up a Karatbars dual system. Follow what we have called the 12-week strategy, which was designed by successful affiliates. It was not designed by Karatbars International. They had nothing to do with it. And that was a logical format. And whether it's a 12-week plan, or a 20-week plan, or an 8-week plan, or a 52-week plan, it's probably better than the one that you got in your own retirement. Go look. Now, how do you save money? Make sure it's not made out of paper. Right? All right, now. How do you get prices right out of the way? This was taken off at 8karatbars.com. They draw it across the board, and these are 4 different companies that provide this type of gold in a certificate of authenticity, sealed in, and some have holograms and some don't. And the ones that have holograms, made by the same company, with the ones that don't, are worth more than the ones that don't. Okay? So the hologram adds value to it. Next, that's on a 1 gram price. You might go, man, adding it all up, I'm paying this much per ounce. All right, well, how many ounces you bought? You see what happens with most people? With good intentions, something comes up and it interrupts them. We show people how to accumulate gold. Next, there's a 2.5 gram card. By the way, that is €5 or $6.50 less per gram than the 1 gram price. This is the 5 gram card. It is €10 or about $12 less per gram than the 1 gram price. It's a 9% margin. Right? Now, none of them, I don't care how much gold you buy from another dealer and how much people you refer, he's never going to pay you residual income, and better, show you how to get gold for free. When I say free, I mean free. What we do in here in this plan is very unique. It is built on the 4 pillars of truth that is found in every single economy and wealth creation on the planet. The movement of money, the velocity of the movement of money, moving money toward you with the system. You cannot outwork an exponential inflation with a linear income and self-effort. Not anymore. You want to try? You can. Keep going. 47 2 can't find work. And if you see where it's going, bottom line of business is going down, expenses going up. So, this is where this comes from. Some people have called it the 12-week strategy. It is, because it's a formula to help you get what you want. What is it that you want? Most important thing, the second most important thing I can tell you right here, is that if you have something that you want, you get it out of your head and write it down on paper. The subconscious works when you take it out of here and create it in a visual world for yourself. Take it out. Things happen. So understand, Karatbars provides a platform and a pay schedule. They do not promise you earnings, and neither does this formula. Now, here I'm going to give you a disclaimer. Income projections can be shown in U.S. dollars. The action plan uses mathematical examples that are dependent on you following the plan as described. Incomes can't be guaranteed because we can't guarantee your effort for anybody else. Does that make sense? You know what that's the best part about this. What do you mean? Because this won't be built on you convincing some people, this will be built on the fact that when some people see this, you will never stop them from doing this. Nobody is ever going to stop me. They couldn't stop me when I wasn't making money. And my wife, after a year, she goes like this. How much you make this month? $179. Way to go. She's my down payment on that. Okay? Now. Understand, thinking cap, entrepreneurial. Our goal is this. Our goal in this formula is to do this. Take you off of the confines of time and money from your wallet and transfer you onto a system. A system that is 100% cash flow positive, zero risk exposure, which spins off residual income. You can take it cash in a MasterCard at 32 million locations, or you can exchange it for pure gold bullion. And so work hard one time and create the asset. Then it spins it off. Whatever you want to do with your time. We just got back from here, we're going to Congo. Every year we go down there. Huh? Guess what? You go down there, I go to the ATM machine, I take out pesos or dollars. I go to Tokyo, I take out, anybody like to travel? Man, this is the most fun we do. We have a shortage of people that do that. There's the difference between a millionaire and a residual income millionaire. You understand? I'm the number. And I'm not the top earner or anything. But I work hard enough to make the asset. It isn't hard to do. It's just that you got to take action instead of thought. Okay? And so this is it. This is the correct way to MasterCard to move money. This is the correct way to save money. You can't save it in paper. It doesn't hold its value. This kind of money doesn't, guess what? There's no inflation with it. It's always equal to the task it takes to get it out of the ground. You can't print more of it. There's no credit with it, and there's no fractional lending with it. Like when you give $1 in bank and they loan on 9 more, you collect 9 times the interest. Now, how much they paying you on your, how much interest are they paying you on your bank? How much? Less than 1%? Well, the real rate of inflation is 11%. Did you know that? 11%. They tell you the core rate is 2 to 3%. They leave out gas, food, and energy costs. How's that working for you? That means for every paper dollar you got in your paper money bank getting 1%, you're losing 9 or 10% on your paper money bank keeping it in there. That's why the banks are the biggest banks, the biggest buildings in the city. So our goal is off that and onto the system. How long it takes you depends on you. Disclaimer, fuzzy, read that. I gave the first disclaimer in there. And understand Karatbars has nothing to do with this plan. And I am obligated to make sure that you understand that. Okay? They're an e-commerce platform. They provide products. And they provide a pay schedule if you choose to do something with that. The 12-week strategy is all about creating an asset. Now, how many of you came here to find out how to be the best gold salesman? Remember what I said at the beginning? What's the very first thing I said? The most difficult thing to do is to pass one idea from one person to another and not be misunderstood. You have absolutely zero financial obligation, and it doesn't cost you a penny to do that. But you are getting a piece of real estate in the world's first and only honest money system. Next, this is taking the components that came from Karatbars. 8. Get a package. It doesn't matter which one you choose as much as it does matter that you choose one of them immediately and open the key to the vault. You know, you can start at an entry level. You choose how much money you want to make. In this system, they tell you how much they're going to pay you before they replace you. Yes or no? In our system, you get to choose your paycheck. You can start at an entry level like a digital bronze. For $135, it pays you 5% direct commission, and every time you got 50 units here and 25 units in there, it pays you about $12. Okay? And so, it's worth 5 units of volume. Now, next, you can go all the way to a VIP. That is top of the food chain. Many of you have spent 20 times more money in order in your trade or other profession than it takes you to be at the top of the food chain in this. If you're a VIP and you find 4 people that think like you earn back every penny it took you to be at the top of the food chain. Okay? That pays you a 20% direct commission for the 100 units. Right now, because the value of the dollar is so strong, it's not about $2,100. It's like $1,780, isn't it? Dollar's good right now, until it isn't. Let me tell you about the dollar. This, somebody says the dollar's doing good, right? Well, that's your perception. Here's why. And then we love the dollar. We love America. We want to have this. Here's this. Well, here's what you need to know about that. The value of the dollar is like this. All these paper monies went up in an airplane at 10,000 feet and jumped out with no parachute. They all have only one destination. What you see in the value of the dollar gaining over stuff is wind drag. Okay? You need to go look at that in the long run. It's wind drag. Now, you can give yourself a raise. You can start in a bronze, you can start in a silver, gold. You can upgrade at any time. That pays you the most. Next, we want you to take $65 of paper money out of your wallet. We want you to turn it into gold money. Right now it's only about 50, 58 or something like that. Turn it into gold money and put it in your gold money piggy bank. Have you spent any money? That's like taking $1 and turning it into 4 quarters. You still have the money. You're going to get paid to save your money properly. We want you to do that every week for 12 weeks. Why? For velocity of the movement of transactions throughout the system. When you do that, very quickly, you are not using your wallet anymore to get your gold. You have moved off your wallet and the system acquires the gold. Okay? Next. That's what we call the brick. Top part. Do you need anybody else's permission to open an account, get your own package, and decide to take $65 a week, which isn't getting more valuable, leave it in paper, and turn it into gold and put it in your piggy bank? You can do it all on your own. Great. That's not you being a gold salesman. Next, do you think there's anybody out there somewhere that might want to take a look at a legitimate business strategy to produce $4,500 a week of passive income in as little as 12 weeks? Do you think they're out there? How many? A few? A lot? More than a lot? Boy, which one? Yeah, maybe it's not. I think so. So we're just going to find 2 people that think like you. Guess what? They don't got neon signs in the corner. Alright? There's a challenge, isn't it? And we're going to fix that, because I figured it out. Multi-plan was only a perfect rule example show how money can be made utilizing infrastructure and pay schedule Karatbars. It was designed by successful affiliates, not Karatbars internationally, not a guarantee of what your team will look like. How many people here might be building a team? Does your team look different than somebody else's team? 100%. So don't compare your team to somebody else's, because that's your journey. And make sure you take lots of pictures, because when you go take your $900 a day out of the ATM, you're going to want to have some examples for yourself. Okay? It was never meant that you only find 2. It can happen when you find the right 2. You duplicate. Follow me? This is the dynamics that harness residual income and momentum and velocity. 2 very important aspects of this. So I'm going to give you an example. We're going to use some people right here. So you got that with personal drawing. You enrolled a free account. You uploaded your KYC docs. Know your customer. Following the Patriot Act to protect and secure and establish your identity to your own private account. The only people that have that information is Karatbars International. Nobody else. Okay? Now, then you bought it, you committed to buy one ring. You got a digital bronze package. Let me show you the least amount. And then you got a gram a week for 12 weeks. You never bought another gram in this perfect world example. And then in your first week, whether you had to ask 2, 5, 10, 20, however many you had to ask to find 2 that said this makes sense to me. And believe me, in these times, it ain't that hard. You made $13 in recognition. Aren't you excited? You took this, you'll see $13. There's some of you that's more money than you made in the interest in your checking and savings account. Put it in perspective. Now, week number 2, those 2 people were the right 2 who said this is it, and I can commit to being the brick. Enroll package, the bronze package in grad week and find 2 in the first week. Now, what did you do? You took $65 of paper money out of your wallet, turned it into gold money, put your gold money payback. How much you make? Nothing, because you have 50 units here and 25 units in there. All right, now, week number 3, you took 65 out of your wallet, turned it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy. How much you make? 0, because you still have 50 units here and 25 units on the other side. All right? Week number 4, you took $65 out of your wallet, you turned it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy. But you made 2 team payouts, $13, so you made how much? $26. Week number 5, you took 65 out of your wallet, you turned it into gold money, put it in gold money in the bank. Now you made 3 team payouts, $13 each, you made $39. Week number 6, halfway through your 12-man commitment, in this perfect world example, you took $65 out of your wallet, you turned it into gold money. You put it in your gold money piggy bank, but you made $65. So it's going to be a totally logical question that you're going to be asked when 95% of the population make their money with a linear income. How much your gold cost? Yeah, so if you make at least as much money as it takes you to acquire your own gold from the system, how much does your gold cost you? Can you buy it cheaper anywhere else? This system was made for thrifty gold acquisition enthusiasts who understand the power and leverage of teamwork with like-minded individuals whose mission is to change the savings habits in their family, to help their communities, and the economy that matters the most is the one in your own home. Now, it's also going to be common that you're going to be asked just like this. Well, Dan, isn't that like money from a job? How much you making? How much you making? Right? Think about the pervasive programming that goes along with that. Yes, it is like money from a job week 1, but how much more work did you do week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6? You didn't. You did it before. Unlike probably the person that asked you that question. They go to work on Monday, they get paid on Friday. They go to work on Monday, they get paid on Friday. They go to work on Monday, they get paid on Friday. If they don't go to work on Monday, even if they've been working for 15 years, how much money do they make? Nothing. That's been the return on the investment of their time performing the task they've been trained so good. And that's not a problem as long as you can keep up with inflation. But most people will not. Therefore, if they can't keep up with inflation, where are they going to go for help? The government. Where's the government get the money? They tax or fee. You see any new fees? They tax or fee you from the ones that are working in business. It's a cycle that can change. Now, week 7, you have eliminated yourself from your wallet. You're onto the system. Your paycheck, your personal bank account, your credit cards are no longer part of it. Now you're acquiring gold from the system, and you're going to take $65 off your system MasterCard commissions, and you're going to turn it into gold money, put your gold money piggy bank, made $143. Week 8, you took 65 off your system MasterCard, turned it into gold money, put it in number 9, 65 off your system MasterCard, turn it into gold money, put it in your gold money piggy bank, $546. Week number 10, you took $65 off your system MasterCard, you turned it into gold money, you put it in your gold money piggy bank, which you made $1,131 that week. Do you understand that's $54,000 a year on top of what you're doing, taking the money from your job and saving some of it correctly and allowing a few other people to have the opportunity to say yes. How did I make sense? Okay? And believe me, once this gets going, the dynamics of teamwork kick in and people are inspired. There's too many people on antidepressants today. I say they're not depressed. I see some of them are just not inspired. You ever seen an inspired person that's depressed?
There you go.
All right, now. By the time you get down to week 12, 65 off your system MasterCard, turning to gold money, putting gold money piggy bank, $4,485 on perfect world, becoming a digital bronze, acquiring a gram a week, finding 2 in your first week that would duplicate, not just 2. Okay? And expanded to 12 weeks. The velocity movement of money is the most common and misunderstood process involved in this. People have not understand packages leverage your ability to acquire more gold and make more money, but gold is what protects you. You can acquire far more gold than you'll ever buy in your life. Now, I'm going to get a question here. How many people here have found at least 2 people that duplicate? How many people here have found 5 people? 10 people? 20 people? 30 people? 50 people? 70 people? 100 people? Look at it. For everyone that thinks I don't know if I can do this, all you got to do is get in, do your share, and open up some doors, and the right people will come in somewhere. Whether you find it or gain out of somebody else's, we're in for it. Take a breath. Right? Right? So understand, a better package means you will make it'll be easier for you to do this. Guess what? If you started a silver package, you found 2 silvers, you made money first week to buy your ring. Who succeeds? This is what you're looking for. Dreams, desire, determination, not just any, but any 2. They show you what they want, they talk about it a lot, they show up, they pay attention, they call you, you don't have to call them. How many people don't want to chase people? Guess what? There's your identifier. They will call you. They might even have negative questions. Guess what? They want to get over the bridge of belief. Determination. There's where it is. How many people think they're good at what they do? Just take that attitude and apply it to these simple tasks. Done. Take that attitude and become a master at this. It's not hard. The hardest thing is here. Do here, do there. Because guess what? The proof is already when you go look at that. Right? Okay, now. I think I'm going to leave it here. Jamie, one break. Yeah, just go. Okay. Wait. I would like to recognize all the VIPs who are in attendance. If you're a VIP in this business, stand up. They understand the business model, and you know what? Does it help you get where you want to go faster? You want to go fast, or you want to go slower? You want to make a little, you want to make a lot. If you're a VIP and find 4 VIPs, you've earned it all back. Believe me. You know what? The easiest thing to do is show them you're that. But if you can't get involved in that, choose the best package you can. And understand, somebody says, Dan, look, is this an MLM? Is it? No. It is an e-commerce platform. It's different. And look at it. This company doesn't teach you how to do diddly do why nothing. You know what's that? Right? Here's what we had to do. We had to figure it out. Now, one thing. If somebody wants, what company you work for, they make something or sell something, right? Well, understand where it's at. feel confident with your sphere of influence. And guess what? It looks good on any financial statement in any country, no matter how much you got of it, and they're not making 25-karat gold, are they? Anybody involved in a tech company, and somebody comes out with a better techie thing, and he comes out with you might look at it. I got my stuff that I like, and I've never given it up. It's those special things that but I'm not going to give them up. Doesn't mean that I can't be smart with the money that I make. So let's just take an example. Where does this fit in? What's the benefit of building this? Let's just say this. Month number 1, you send money away, and you get a Karatbar, and then you get a subscription or a bill of some kind, right? Subscription, okay? No matter what it is, it doesn't matter. What here? What are you doing over here? You're saving it. What are you doing over here? At the end of the month, what do you got? Okay? Oh, somebody slipped that slide. Month 2, what do you got? Right. End of the month, what do you got? Month 3, what do you got? End of the month, what do you got? Looks like something didn't transfer well, did it? Look, in the process, what are we doing? We're producing an asset. What does that have to do with that? Huh? In order to create an asset, you got to do one of 2 things. You either got to leverage money, which very few people have enough of and do anything significant with. That's why it takes you 30 years of investing in order to do it, right? Alright? Or you got to invest time, which everybody is the same amount of, we just don't do much to do anything with it. Correct? What do companies do? They leverage time. They hire 100 employees to work 40 hours to get 4,000 hours of work. Right? Guess what? We're going to show you how to use cracks of time in order to do this. Who wants to know a simple way to do this? I'll tell you right now. The challenge with most people when they get involved is they get in the way of their own success. Okay? You do. Because you're trying to communicate it, and it doesn't come off right, and then you come up with some type of convoluted plan in order to get it right for that person. When the simplicity is, look, is anybody working 70 hours a week? 60 hours a week. I was working 70 hours a week doing this. I didn't have time to chase emails. Does that make sense? I don't want to chase emails. I don't want, did you get it? Call them back. Did you get it? Well, eventually, call me tomorrow. Call them back. Blah, blah, blah. Chase. It's all wrong. You know what I want to know? I want to know in 5 minutes if you're interested or not. If you're not, it's okay. Is 5 minutes good for you? In 5 minutes, you know whether or not somebody's interested. Is that fair? Yes. Right? If they're not, it's okay, correct? Well, what if they are? Alright? So, we use a little technology. We got things called a sizzle call. And there's a 5-minute call. Right? If you want to listen to it, you can. Right? Now, what I do is very simply, I may ask somebody, hey Jim, it's Dan. Listen, do you have a minute to tie up? No, Dan, go ahead. Jim, will you give me 5 minutes of your undivided attention? Will you give me that? Well, yeah, great. Then hang on and listen to this.
There are many
flexibility in your schedule to see a live webcast at either 12 noon or 9 p.m. tomorrow. Which would be better? 9 p.m.? Great. Then why don't I call you 8:45? We'll both get online, we'll both watch the webcast, and we'll just see if we're looking along the same lines or not. Sound good to you? Is that threatening? Did you understand that literally, this is the 6th time I've done it. You ask 100 people for 5 minutes of undivided attention. Only 80 people will give it to you. And out of the 80 people that give it to you and even have the interest, only 40 people will see a marketing plan. And out of the 40 people that see it, which means 60 out of 100 didn't even see the plan. And you're successful. Out of the 40 that see it, 20 will roll. Instantaneously. And out of the 20 that enroll, 10 will immediately get a business marketing package. And out of the 10 that get a business marketing package, 6 are going to do this with or without you. This isn't you being the best salesman. This is you using a procedure like washing dishes. I wash a pot, I wash a pan, I wash a glass. They identify themselves as being interested or not. You are not involved in the sales process. You are performing a set of tasks. Fill out the chart. You take you out of the way. Guess what the brand new person knows how to do? He didn't tell me nothing. The message did. What's that message? Anybody can do this. Now, this is what you'll find. Just like that. Somebody wants to do that? That's a simplistic way to get this ball going right off the bat. First 30 days, ask 100 people for 5 minutes under that attention. If they won't give it to you, you don't go into anything more. The only thing you have to do is know what the sizzle call is, put it on your phone, and know how to do a 3-way call. That's it. Know where the webcast is. Number 1, if you're here and you're looking at this, you need to know who your senior partner or team director is. Why? They have the knowledge and experience to help you evaluate what you want out of this, not what they want for you. You decide what your level of interest and participation is, and you decide. Okay? And I want to tell you that the results are easily measured. If you have a spouse that isn't interested in this, congratulations. Mine wasn't either. You know how to get an attitude change? Put $100,000 in her checking account. I dare any spouse not to have an attitude change. Okay? Literally. And you know what? They roll one bill a day. This ain't gonna happen overnight. This ain't no get-rich-quick scheme. And this isn't a put-in money deal. This is take the paper money, turn it into gold money, let somebody else know, leverage your time in the package, create the activities that create residual income, momentum and velocity, 2 phenomena that come in anything where you can refer. Who's got the most, I want to say, who's got the most contacts in your phone? Who's got more than 200? Who's got more than 300? Brand new people who are not in this business. Who has the most contacts in their phone? Who has 200 people? Who has 200 contacts on their phone? Who's got 300? 400? 500? Do you understand you are sitting on a gold mine? It's a mathematical improbability that you will not find more than enough people that you ever need to do. And if you get involved, guess what? You're in somebody's group from people who didn't hesitate to participate, and they don't even know you yet. Yeah, who's got 600? 700? Anybody got 1,000? 1,000. Anybody got more than 1,000? How many got? How many? These are, you have 3,500, you brand new? You brand new. You looking at this, who's looking at this for the first time? You looking at this first time, 3,500? Everybody else got more than 3,500? You win, come on up. $50. Is there any questions? Ask me a question. No questions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
How long have you been in this here?
I got started in July 2010 when they were thinking about coming over and expanding. I worked for a year. I got my first check was in June 2011, and it was not impressive. In an old clunky Model Wagon.
How long did it take? How long? Were you first ticket? How long?
The first 3 years we worked in a model that wasn't conducive to a lot of growth. Then the 12-week strategy came out and revolutionized our ability to put together the formula to make, it was born in an inspiration by Pastor Larry Dye and Miles Smith. So after that, it was like tons of success quickly.
Another question. What, if you don't mind, if you don't, this is private, you don't have to mind.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay. What level did you start at? What business plan? Before?
VIP.
Okay.
Look, if I'm going to do it, I want to do it where I'm going to maximize it out. Right? But the record setter in the business started out borrowing the money for bronze. I was there. He didn't have the money for bronze. He had to borrow it. But good. Okay, that's fine. You can find a sizzle call, a wave file we can add to anything that you have. And I don't want to take up any more of your time. Is there any other questions right here? Go ahead. Yes. There's a number of grams that run through your business minus your largest line. Okay? That way you can't sponsor one person and you ride and they do all the work and you get all the bonuses. You can't cap the one with the biggest line. You got all the other lines. So the more lines that you have, more people refer, you get the count. You tired, huh? Look, they were gracious enough to have, look, we're keeping people up here. We're gracious for them to put this into play. But I want to tell you this, you can do a lot more good. Do a lot more good when you have more. And understand, money doesn't make you good or bad. It brings out more of who you really are. Okay? For some people that might not be happy in their relations, but others, there's good stuff they can ask. Any other questions? No? Do you know who your upline, who your team senior partner is? If you don't, that's your task. Get back with the person that referred you here and get that information. Okay? And they can help you fall into whatever program suits you or not. Okay? All right. Thanks very much for your time and attention tonight.